Good morning. Welcome to the Duos Financial Channel. This is Adrian Goldfarb, Chief Financial Officer. And we're here today with Ed Harris, newly appointed Director, and also with Chuck Ferry, our Chief Executive Officer, who's been with the company since September of last year. Welcome and thanks for coming in and spending some time to give your perspectives on the company. Chuck, let me start with you. You've been in place for a few months now and have had a chance to assess the company. Can you share any insights at this point?
Yeah, I think, Adrian, like we talked about during our Q3 earnings call, the company is it's a small but very technology savvy company. Has some outstanding technology that we think will be absolutely cutting edge and potentially transformative, certainly inside the rail industry as well as large logistics and intermodal operators. Internally, we talked about being more focused on our operational and technical excellence, and I'm pleased to report that we are making great strides in that right now. Our engineering teams have definitely accelerated the pace of the new technology that they're bringing to bear, as well as improving how we're testing, developing, and deploying the equipment out into the field. So those were things we really wanted to focus on here short term, and I'm pleased to see good progress with that.
Very interesting. It sounds like your extensive experience in the military and then commercial organizations mean that our shareholders can look forward to solid execution and revenue growth going forward. What are some of the challenges as the company scales up?
Yeah, I think I've led smaller companies that have gotten larger very quickly, and then similar military experiences as well. So, all good businesses really start with what I call operational and technical excellence, and that sounds very cliche, but it's just very, very true. And so, being able to say you can do something and then actually execute and deliver that, on time and on budget is absolutely key, and it's a basic building block for any good company. And then as you kind of set that building block up, where you've got good, repeatable, if you will, standard operating procedures, policies and processes, and you can demonstrate that, that then builds a base where you can now begin to scale up the company very, very rapidly with that base.
Thank you. It's obviously on time and on budget resonates with me, and I think that solid growth with profitability will be a winning combination going forward. Turning to you, Ed. It is clear from your bio that you've had a long career in the nation's largest railroads. Can you tell us about new technologies such as the Duos Rail Inspection Portal might be accepted long term?
Thanks, Adrian. It's going to be accepted very well long term. As technology has taken over railroad operations, whether it gets back to the automatic scanning of the equipment and the cards and car information and customer information, things like that, what you produce here at Duos, or what we produce here at Duos, now that I'm part of the board, which I'm very proud to be associated with, this is a inspection process that's going to have an immediate impact on the rail operations. It's going to have an immediate impact on the regulatory side of it, and it's going to have a huge impact on the customers and the length of time to move a freight car from A to B.
In your opinion, what are the biggest hurdles for us to overcome as a relatively small organization working with the Class 1s?
It is a small organization compared to what I'm used to, but I think the bigger hurdles that you'll have to look at is getting into the door to begin with. We've started that process. You've already done it with Canadian National, where you've got 7 of these RIPs installed and operational, and they're looking to expand in the U.S. You've got a couple on CSX and KCS. I think as we expand westward, so to speak, the opportunities and my knowledge of the industry and the people that are running those railroads will help us get to where we need to go. I'm just looking for greater and bigger things from Duos when it's all said and done.
Can you tell our audience exactly what precision railroading is and whether the deployment of the Duos Rail Inspection Portals across the network supports that concept?
Precision schedule railroading is basically running trains on time, running cars on time, measuring the car, not the train. So when a car leaves the customer's dock, the clock starts ticking. If we live within our schedule and live within our time, those cars will get to destination on schedule, on time, and that's what you sell to your customer. That's the most important thing we can do. What Duos technology is doing with their portal, with their inspection portals, could take anywhere from 6 to 10 hours out of the transit time of a car because you're doing the inspection programmatically or internally with the camera program. Once regulations are granted to allow some test runs, you'll find this to be a very, very opportunistic selling point that railroads can take advantage of with their customers and stand to increase or decrease transit time across the country.
Finally, what can you share with us about your plan to stay connected with the industry post-retirement, other than, of course, attending Duos board meetings?
Well, that's a loaded question since I know so many people. I'll always be associated with railroading. That's all I've ever done since I was 18 years old. Worked with four different Class 1 railroads, been on boards, been chairman of the board of Omnitrax, which maybe some of you folks are familiar with. I can see the opportunity to expand this technology not only to just railroads, but to not only to Class 1 railroads, but to short line railroads as well as rail industries, as well as contractors that repair cars and they give it one last final scan through the program. You know, the sky's the limit for this technology, and I think we need to hit it hard and get out there and do a good job selling. First off, though, the sales process needs to be centered around the safety of the railroad itself and the scheduled performance of a customer's freight car.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you, Ed and Chuck, for spending a few minutes talking to our shareholders. Once again, we are talking with Chuck Ferry, CEO, and Ed Harris, new board member for Duos Technologies Group, listed on NASDAQ, symbol DUOT. Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian.
Thanks.